This video is made for adult collectors because
we got two good bulkhead molds. And then this idiot.
Bulkhead has had some nice figures in his lifespan, from the helicopter and Energon all the way to the legacy one, but in the middle he had a very weird ass toy. This thing. The legacy one doesn't really look like Prime Bulkhead, but at least the figure is pretty nice. This just kind of gets a lot of things wrong. The Transformers Prime toy line had a Robots in Disguise segment in the middle that's not confusing at all, and had some questionable figures and the best Viacon ever made, and it spat out this. This is Prime RID Bulkhead, a Voyager Bulkhead that followed the first edition, and man, it didn't really deliver on a lot. He looks square like the legacy one, but this time it isn't an intentional design choice. I like the shaded green though, with the dark shade accenting it. I wish there was a bit more of that darker shade on this figure, but what they have right now is still pretty nice. But the proportions are very flat and slightly rectangular. Bulkhead uses the car parts in the show to make the more round shape, and the first edition handles that quite well, but here it just feels all smushed together. The doors can flare out if you want to get that shape, sort of, but it leaves the rest of the torso looking a bit odd and empty. I like the shape of the arms. They got all the show details on point, and then you realize that they're gorilla armed, and then you realize that they put forearm rotation in to actually fix that. I love that. And he has door wings on the back. They can be pulled off to be flipped around so that the wings don't show at the top, but then the wheels are too low and it doesn't look right. They don't look great. I wish there was a little hinge to fold those fins away at the top. They nailed the feet. All I think it needs is a painted tire on the outside, but the legs I think are the best looking part of the figure. The shape and the sculpting, it's pretty much just perfect for me. I also like how the shoulder pads are formed. They kind of match the show in color and in sculpting a bit more than the first edition's more bulky shoulder pads. The first edition got the size right, but these got the looks right. Head sculpt is fantastic. I have no problems here. He has an opening jaw and can eat his own face. I love that. Not a big fan of the clear plastic thin panel that it sits on though. That's 2012 clear plastic. It just isn't great. He comes with a mech tech weapon that doesn't lock, but it's his wrecking ball. There's also a punchy stick he comes with that I didn't get with this figure. I do like the tail light on the weapon though. It makes it feel more integrated with the aesthetic of this robot. I kind of wish it pegged into the alt mode somehow to be the tail light, but that's asking for way too much.
So Bro's articulation is just old. It is old. It's not the blah, 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 blah. That's how you speak English. It's not the greatest. So the head can rotate left and right. You get actually quite a bit of tilt, but not a lot of up and down. If you move the jaw out of the way, you get a little bit more down, but then that looks ridiculous. The shoulder pads are on a ball joint at the like shoulder itself, and then a hinge at the pad, so you can move them out of the way to accommodate for the shoulders, which have a little bit of butterfly swing due to transformation, which is nice. The shoulders can rotate, they can go in and out. You have bicep rotation, you have a double jointed elbow. You also have this rotator cuff piece here, so you can actually make the arms not gorilla, which is very cool. So you can do that. That's nice. You do have a wrist that goes in and out, nothing at the waist. Hips can only really go forward that far. They can go back quite a bit. They can go in and out. They're on ball joints, which is kind of funny. You got thigh rotation, you have a single jointed knee, and that's it. There's nothing at the feet. So it's not the greatest, but I do like how they were able to like make the gorilla arms go away. I think that's neat. Oh, and then these wings can flap, but it's nothing special.
So I'm dreading this part, because this was a used copy I bought, and myself and the shop I bought it from didn't realize till I got home that this figure had been snapped clean in half once and then glued back together. So here goes.
So Bulkhead's transformation, well, it's a little bit easier, which I like than the first edition one, because this one's not, it's a little fiddly. This one's still also a little fiddly, but not as fiddly. So to start with, we are going to bring the arms back to being gorilla arms. Let's just get that done there. Then we're going to collapse these shoulder pads. You just squeezing these together. We're going to open the chest up, and then let's do the feet. So the feet, we're going to fold the toes in, and then fold these sections up all the way. And that'll just sort of rotate these around so that the wheels are facing the outside. Then we're going to take this back section, bring it out. The head is going to fold in to the torso. The arms are going to go back as you're folding all this up. We're also going to bring this section up at the front here. This piece is going to fold all the way back and then the legs are going to come forward and sort of sit there like this, and then you will bring the front end around and over this, and the legs here, it's kind of hard to see, but they will peg into the top section. So just get that lined up, get that all lined up, then you fold that section to the front, and that's the front of the truck pretty much done. So we're going to keep this section out. You're going to bring these arms in. They're going to peg into each other. Peg in. Peg. You got to make sure all the swivels in the arms are lined up perfectly, otherwise this will be a little annoying. Then you double hinge, well first you fold the fists, and then you double hinge the arms up like that. Then you bring these sections down along the side. These pieces are going to rotate. Then you bring these bits back up so you can fit these into place, which is a little annoying to do. You get that all situated in there. Then you bring these back down. Now you're gonna have to line all this up. This is the fiddliest part of the transformation for me. There's that one, and there's that one. And these will just sort of peg into the arms, into the little gaps that they have. Not exactly the best fit in the world, but it's a fit. It fits, in air quotes. Then you take this section here, and this will just sort of collapse in and peg into everything, holding it all together. And there you have, if it'll want to stay, Bulkhead in his truck mode. Not terrible, not difficult. It's fine. I don't like this. This is a little loose on my copy, so it just sort of hangs at the front. And I don't like doing the doors. The doors are really annoying, especially because I have to be careful with this piece. But yeah, it's a little bit better than this to do, I'd say. Still not the greatest.
That's a nice truck mode. I really like this truck shape, and any toy that turns into this, I'm drawn to. This, Quillfire, the first edition, the Cyberverse Commander, the Beast Hunters one. I really wish there was an RID-15 toy, because he did show up in that show. But apparently it's like based off of this slightly or something. I don't really know. I like almost everything about this. The chunky tires, the coloring, the silver on the sides and on the top. I do wish the windows were all the same color though. Some of them are green and some of them are clear and one of them's not even painted. I just wish they were consistent. The junk at the front is a bit but for the most part, I like it. MechTech weapon plugs into the top and looks stupid. Why didn't these lock? It's so strange they didn't put a little tab to like lock these into place. I don't get it. But it's a nice compact vehicle and this is how I display it. But should you get one? Well, I would say if you could get it for cheap, because like for $30, it's probably not that bad or whatever. But like, yeah, that's a lot. Also, make sure you get one that's not snapped in half. But I wouldn't really go for this unless you really want a Bulkhead and can't find the first edition for less than that. But that's my look at Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise Bulkhead. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.